Welcome to Tanya Today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We welcome, as we do daily. Actually, it's amazing, such dedication, day in, day out. Inspiring for me. TJ, all the way from Australia, where it is, correct me if I'm wrong, 11:30 at night. Linda, Liba, and Davida, all the way in New York. Good morning. And a good morning to Adinia. I don't know if I pronounced your name right, but welcome. Andrea in Phoenix. John is with us in North Carolina. And Gary all the way in Pennsylvania. Diane from Connecticut is with us. Ashley, good morning to you. Down in Indonesia, welcome. David all the way in Northern California where it's raining. Bright and early, or perhaps not even bright yet. Roy, Aleichem Shalom, welcome. Tim in Texas, Boker Tov. Nisido in Indonesia, if I remember correctly, or maybe not, remind me. June also all the way in Australia. Good night. Boker Tov to Marjan in Atlanta. Regards to my daughters. And it was wonderful seeing you when I actually visited my daughters in Atlanta. Eugenia is in Calgary. Boker Tov. Isha, welcome. I forget now, but welcome. Lori, Boker Tov to you. Robert in Boston, Shalom. Alyssa, good morning. Leah in Fort Myers, good morning to you. Michael, good afternoon in Germany, and good afternoon also in Budapest. Anna. Andrew in New Jersey, welcome. And we have in Clubhouse, we have Vilma Bachia, Meir, Marcy, Celeste, Benjamin, Adam, Michelle, Boss, Jennifer, David, Tim, Liz, the mama. All right. And a happy mama at that. Okay, glad to hear. Shouldn't be any other way. And we have Crystal in Australia. We have Rida Shalom. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. In the Telebenta, Okoy in Peru. Rabbi Chaim. Thank you for joining. We begin the third essay of Kuntras Achron, the fifth part of Tanya. For those who recall previously in the first part of Tanya, in chapters 39 and 40, the Alter Rebbe spoke about the Torah mitzvahs that we do, that when it has lishma for its own intent, with kavana, the intent of motivation, that is, of love and awe of God, then the Torah that we study, the mitzvahs we do, ascend above. They ascend above. They have wings. And depending on what propels them, what kind of love and awe. So there's one that comes from a meditative one, an intellectually generated one. In other words, we think about the mitzvah that we're doing. We think about our relationship with God. We think about the divine that's involved in this. We meditate upon it, and that produces in us a feeling of love and awe that then propels that learning that we're engaged in, that mitzvah that we do, to the world of Bria, which is the world of divine comprehension. if we are propelled by a love and awe that is inherent to the soul, not because we proactively, created it, not proactive at all. It's there. Okay, we got to tune into it. So there's some, engagement that we have of us, no doubt. But it wasn't generated from the mind to the heart. That's, the stature of humanness is that the mind feeds the heart. And from the heart, it brings us to thought, speech, and action. That is, ideal. Let me tell you, we're not such ideal people, or at least I'm not. But we could still be motivated, have kavanah lishma, by love and awe that is inherent to the soul. The Ava Mitzateres, the hidden love that's in the soul. And that propels us to study now Tanya, to do a mitzvah, being charitable, pray to God, and the like. That propels the mitzvah to the world of Yetzirah, the world of formation, the world of emotions, spiritual emotions above. And when it ascends there, it ascends to the divine attributes, which is one with God, with the Ein Sof. Now, this is all when you have kavanah lishma, which is a pure intent, again, that's born out of a love and awe, the two wings that allow what we do to ascend on high. And just parenthetically, when we do a mitzvah, and we're going to speak more about that, in the act of the mitzvah, God embraces us down here. But it doesn't mean it ascends above and has a connection to the divine above and therefore is there for eternity. That needs to be propelled and needs to have the wings. So when you do a mitzvah, that's not in such a manner. So we're going to get more into that beginning today, but it'll continue. But in the very basis of a mitzvah, in the very act of the mitzvah, we are having a divine embrace in the moment. But it's not eternal in the act of the mitzvah, unless, again, it has wings to propel above, to the divine above, and therefore, just as the attributes are one with the Ein Sof, and that is limitless and timeless, so likewise the mitzvah becomes limitless and timeless, right? That's the ideal. But if we're lacking the lishma, and we do it out of habit, quite frankly, a lot of things I do it out of habit. Now, by the way, parenthetically, that's one of the important things of raising a child. It get them into good habits. Now, we start when they're, very young with food. Don't throw food, right? They take their bottle and they throw it because they're upset. And we try to train them. What are we trying to train? What are we doing? And, 5-year-old, you start explaining to them about sharing and, sharing is caring. Not that you know what that means exactly, but share. We're training them to have good habits and to be habitual about them. That they habitually say the Shema every day, a child, and they pray to God. So then when they become an adult, they can have a love and awe in what they're doing. But first you got to have the habit. So what happens is, you can have study of Torah we're doing right now, and it can be very much habitual. And therefore it doesn't ascend to the spheres, because it's not propelled by intent for its own sake to connect to God by love and awe, right? So doesn't it only goes to the external aspect of the worlds above, where the angels abide. That's what we learned previously. Now, that's the background. Concerning this, the Alter Rebbe, as we mentioned, Kuntres Achron is taking from teachings of the Zohar, of the Eitz Chaim, pre-Eitz Chaim, from the Arizal's teachings, and bringing things that we learned previously, and now going into more depth to understand some of the teachings that seemingly are a contradiction. And here we have Reb Chaim Vital says a Torah study that's uninspired by proper intent, kavana, it creates angels, improper intent, in the world of Yetzirah. Commandments that are fulfilled without proper intent create angels in the world of Asiyah, the world of action, because you've got the action, but you don't have the kavana, the intent. So therefore, it's only creating angels. Angels are not divine attributes. They are created beings, and hence don't have an eternity to them. Angels come and go. Divine attributes are one with the Ein Sof. They have an eternity, limitless. But that's when we do with intent. So what do we have? Torah, without proper intent, creates angels in the world of Yetzirah. Right? But the challenge or the difficulty over here is that we see when it comes to prayer, it's different. A prayer without proper intent remains below in this world. It doesn't go to Yetzirah and creating angels. It stays here. Why is that? When it comes to Torah study and prayer, when it's done with proper intent, so it flies, it wings with the proper intent of love and awe to the world of Yetzirah, if it's propelled by the Ava Mitzvah, the hidden love that we have in our soul, and if it's propelled by our intelligence that generates a feeling, our meditation and thinking about the mitzvah or thinking about God, and then it propels us to do the mitzvah, the study of Torah, or prayer with a love and awe, then it propels to the world of Bria. So they're the same when it comes to Torah study and prayer with regards to proper intent. So why is it with regards to improper intent, Torah study does rise up, okay, only to the external aspect of the world that creates angels that are created beings and not divinity, right? But when it comes to improper intent to prayer, it doesn't even do that. It remains below. How do we understand that? The Zohar calls these prayers invalid prayers. So, the Alter Rebbe explains the difference between Torah and prayer without intention. He says it's actually self-evident. Okay. What does that mean? Study without Torah, without proper intent, right? Like, again, doing it out of routine, We're here every day, 9:30, and maybe some of you, it's just a routine now. And even for me too, maybe it's just a routine and I'm not really, right? I'm not really, motivated by my, inherent love and awe. In any case, whatever. That's, so we need a l'chaim for that one. However, in the Torah study, for it to be Torah study, right? To be Torah study, what does it mean? You need to understand. So the mitzvah you got of comprehending, even if you don't have the proper intent, right? Even if you don't have the proper intent. Otherwise, it's not called Torah study. So even if it doesn't, you don't doing it out of rote, you're not doing it with the love and awe. On the other hand, it can't be that you're learning for self-aggrandizement, because then it remains in klipa down here, right? Because then, once thoughts and intent are clothed in the letters of the Torah that we learn, and it prevents it completely from rising up, because I'm doing it just, either to look good or to feel good, or, to be honored through being, a Torah teacher, or whatever the case, right? You have an ulterior motive, in other words. That comes from klipa, and therefore it encumbers the words of Torah, and it remains down here. But we have a middle ground, that you're not doing it for self-aggrandizement. You're not doing it out of a love and awe of God, right? You're doing it. How are you doing it? Just, I don't know. But you still have the Torah knowledge. You still have the Torah understanding. So therefore, because of that, you have the mitzvah, you have the connection. But when it comes to prayer, if you have alien thoughts while you're praying, since the whole idea of prayer is really about your heart, Torah study is about your understanding. Prayer, it's about your heart. Well, if your heart is elsewhere because you have alien thoughts, then you don't have prayer. Right? However, that's easily corrected, the Alter Rebbe says. And there's a fascinating idea that he actually brought in the first part of Tanya also. And that is that what's missing here is proper intention. You said the words of prayer, right? But, sometimes you go on autopilot, and therefore parts of the prayer may not ascend because you don't have the love and awe there, right? You're just mouthing words. So since your heart's not engaged because you're not, you have alien thoughts that are now disrupting you in your prayer, so that prayer is going nowhere, because that's not the full intent of prayer of the heart. However, that can be easily corrected. It can rise again, right? When a person prays with proper intention throughout the year. In other words, you can have a piecemeal pieces of davening, that today you said only this part with intent, right? A focus. And tomorrow you say another part, and the day after another part. And throughout the whole year you have all parts of the prayer come together. Come together. You have a full prayer, which is amazing that can be done. All right, let's unpack this. Pretty powerful ideas. So we thought angels were something special. That's for the rest of the world, not for the Jewish people in Torah teachings. For the rest of the world, that's something amazing. Whoa, you touched your angel. right? You made it, created an angel. That's when we're learning Torah just out of rote, out of habit. But that's not what Torah is teaching us. We can rise above to something much greater than that. That's the first amazing point. Angels are part of the human condition. And that's why, the rest of the world, are enamored with angels. I mean, because it's of the spirit and the spiritual worlds. And as a result, very compelling spiritually. But it's only part of the human condition. And the human condition here, meaning the spiritual realm of creation. Human condition is a created condition. The power of a mitzvah is that it rises with the love and awe to the divine, to the creator, not creation. And that's powerful. That's a powerful idea. And then the next important is the distinction between Torah and prayer. Torah is about God wants your mind. That our mind, we should be able to perceive the world the way God perceives the world. How do you do that? Well, you study His wisdom, His Torah, then His wisdom becomes your wisdom. His vision becomes your vision. We get to see the world the way God does through His Torah teachings. Now, maybe we're not doing it for the most optimum intended intent, right? To be connected to God and being propelled, motivated by a love and awe. But hey, something awesome has happened. And therefore it arises, even if it doesn't have the proper intent. But prayer is all about the heart. Rahman Aliba boy. Merciful one God wants our heart. And prayer is duties of the heart, where we it's in the heart, it's about the heart, that we are able to connect in that manner. So, of course, if we're checked out, so we're saying the words, we're doing whatever, but we're not. Alien thoughts, which is very easy. Must be quite frank with you that when I pray every day, and it's important to me. But there's a lot that is in one's heart besides connecting to God in prayer, right? So those things in your heart come into your mind when you're praying. So that moment, in my mind when I'm studying, so God has my mind because I am comprehending. But in my heart, He doesn't have my heart. Because if alien thoughts are now taking me on a ride somewhere, it doesn't have that. So in that sense, it remains below. But the good side, the amazing thing about it is, after all, we did say the prayer. So we can make it ascend. By the way, again, I just want to give context over here. Remember that in the prayer itself, or in the mitzvah that we do without intent, in the moment there is a divine connection. We're talking here of not just in the moment, but that it ascends, that it has the capacity to live beyond the moment. Well, that's already needs a lot more than just going through the actions, right? It needs to be propelled by that love and awe. Whether it's, the natural inherent love that we have in our soul, or if it's because we've actually been motivated by our mind to actually appreciate and understand, and it feeds our heart. whatever the case may be. But that's an extremely powerful idea. So we can, though, even though it doesn't rise up when we have the, if you did today your Shema, and then, and your mind went adrift saying the Shema, but so tomorrow if you say it, and you're really connected to it, it elevates today's Shema that was left behind. So we can make throughout the year a piecemeal of all the prayers, that they all will be rise on high, which is amazing. All right. Questions? Conversation. First, I'm going to look at Facebook because I lose the feed here at a certain point. So I'm going to look at Facebook if there's any questions, and then we will see also on Instagram. Instagram, I don't see anything. Let's see on Facebook. And then we Clubhouse. We will. Susan. Isn't the archangel Michael protector of Israel? Yes. Absolutely. Correct. So, yeah. Thank you, Susan. So, yeah. Mechol, Malach Mechol. Archangel of Michael, Mechol. Real name. Yes. Is the embodiment of Chesed. Is therefore for us, absolutely. You know what's more amazing? Our mitzvahs is much more powerful than what an angel can do for us. So you're a lucky angel. God should grant you. But we are in control of our destiny, our fate, much more than the angels are being there for us and creating our destiny. Our mitzvah is much more powerful, as again, the angel is a created being. Our mitzvah can be propelled to the divine attributes, to the spheres above, that are one with God, with the Ein Sof. And that is a lot more powerful connection than having a connection to an angel. Much, much greater, infinitely greater. Infinitely greater. But thank you, Susan, thank you for bringing that up. So, meaning to say, what does that mean then? She's saying, actually, Susan, you meant you said the protector of the state of Israel. Well, not the state of Israel, but all of Israel, right? Meaning the Jewish people. So, you put on tefillin yourself, or you put on tefillin with another Jew, will assist a Jew in Israel and bring protection to the soldiers in Israel, for example, more than the angel will above. That's how more powerful our mitzvah is. That's for those who were lucky enough to be part of the JLI first class on outsmarting anti-Semitism that I gave last night. That several of you are actually here today learning again. Hope you enjoyed. Inspire others to join us. So we mentioned about the Rebbe at the end of the class, and I think it was April 27th, 1990, when he got notification about the PLO from the Prime Minister's office in Israel, Yitzhak Shamir's office, Eliakim Rubinstein, calling up the Secretariat to Rabbi Klein and saying that they got notification that the PLO is making plans to wreak havoc and do ill things to Jews around the world. And the Office of Prime Minister wanted the Rebbe to be be aware of this. So the Rebbe, amongst the things that he said, is of course to have trust in God and think good, it'll be good, but to add in Torah, Tefillah, and Tzedakah. Add in your Torah study. Yeah, ask for 3 Tehillims to be said by everyone, and to give more charity. Why? Is because our fate is in our hands. A mitzvah changes the world for good. Right. PLO and other evil people want to, do negative and bad things. So that is amazing. I hope that is, that should really permeate us. Lori, the Jew has the ability to bring the blessings from Hashem into this world. What garments do the blessings wear? Or am I confused? Okay, that was part of the class last night. They're in the garment of our actions. So our actions let's leave. I'm not certain what you mean by the garments, but yes, we bring the blessings into this world, and they are expressed in many different ways in this world. So I'm not exactly clear what you mean by the garments. David, example, my tzitzis are better than... No, that's not intent. Intent is love and awe of the Almighty. John, is tshuva is done much later in life, will one still achieve the state of lishma? Absolutely. Absolutely. Davida, I just have a question waiting to be answered. Where is your question, Davida? If you could... Sorry, go ahead.
Her question is, near the end of the Amidah, when we ask Hashem that the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart be accepted before you, does this relate to that?
Good question. Not exactly certain, but I don't think so. Maybe it's related, but that's more about, the Amidah is making requests of God. So we're asking that those requests should be accepted. Those requests should be accepted. I think it's more there. That's more the point that we're saying there. And that's why we're asking, may it be. But when it's propelled by love and awe, may it be accepted. It is accepted. It is accepted. It's not a question. Here's a question. We ask, should it be? We hope that it will be accepted. So what does it mean it's going to be accepted? Well, we made a request. We said, Rafa'enu Hashem v'nerafei. Heal God, heal us. Heal us and we will be healed. That's a request. May it be accepted. That's what the Amidah is saying. Okay, thank you. I see it afterwards. Anna has a question. Yes. Anna, how do we explain the Holocaust? Okay. All the mitzvahs done before the Holocaust. I don't know if we explain the Holocaust. Who says we explain it? We don't understand. It's beyond our understanding. We don't explain it. We don't understand it. And quite frankly, we don't want it. Yes, it's not about we don't want it anymore, but Um, we, yeah, okay.
Rabbi Denise also asked, do we ever see angels?
Do we ever see angels? If you're like Avram Avinu, I guess you could see angels, right? I guess you could see angels, but do we see angels? I don't think we see angels, no. Nope. The blessings brought into this world, can they bring Mashiach? Absolutely. Okay. Anybody on Clubhouse? There was someone earlier that had a question, and I see that they don't know. All right. If that's the case, let us continue tomorrow. We will. All right. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichrei. You're my drunk hand. Sorry?
There's a couple more questions.
Oh, there is. Okay.
From Lori, the blessings brought into this world, can they bring Mashiach?
Yes, I mentioned that. Yes, of course. Absolutely. And NIC over here, don't we try to, in order to prevent, Michael, the angel protector of Israel, don't we try, I'm not clear on that, what that is. Okay, you know what? We're going to continue the discussion, so whatever questions not completely answered today, they will hopefully continue the conversation tomorrow, and we'll continue with questions. All right, so actually it's an important point that not always will we get to every question, sometimes either because I either missed it, or you get into a different line of discussion and whatever. That's okay. I mean, I hope that you're okay with that. We can always come and revisit, especially, we just started this essay. We're going to continue tomorrow in it. So, any questions that you do have that were not answered today, or you mull over during the day and want to have some insight, you have more insight and you have come up with questions, so feel free to ask them again tomorrow. All right. Reminder, Rambam, 1 p.m. All right, folks. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you for Chabad Zich and Kadesh Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.